Hey there, and welcome to the Reclamation Room. I'm Ashana, and I'm so glad you're here. This is a space for women reclaiming themselves after narcissistic abuse. If you've ever felt like you were too much, not enough, or both at the same time, you're in the right place. I created this podcast because I know what it's like to lose yourself in overgiving, overperforming, and still wondering why it never felt like love. I've walked through trauma, toxic relationships, and the long road of self-reclamation, and I'm here to walk with you. In this podcast, we'll explore what it means to come home to yourself after the confusion and chaos of narcissistic abuse. Some episodes will be solo, others will include guest interviews. All of them will be honest, grounded, and deeply compassionate. So, whether you're just realizing what you've lived through, or you've been on this path and you're ready for the next layer of your healing, you are welcome here. This is not about perfection. This is about reclamation. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I wanted to give you a quick intro because we had so much fun chatting and filming this podcast episode. We completely forgot to do an official intro for the episode. So I want to introduce you to Margaret. I found her on a really cool podcast website where I was so pleased and surprised to find her bio. She is a therapist turned dating coach who helps women who have been dating or finding the same kind of guys over and over, repeating the same patterns. She helps break free from those and kind of face where those patterns are coming from, how to stop repeating them, which is super important. And in this episode, we talk about the narcissistic patterns that can play out in these relationships. We also touch on how this is a hot button topic. People say these words are being thrown around everywhere. Not everyone in the world is a narcissist. That is absolutely true and correct. And we talk about that here, but we also share how these are patterns that do happen in relationships and people fall prey to them every day. So we also discuss how you can build your own fortitude, build your own strength, talk yourself up, show up more confidently, prevent these patterns from happening, and also face why they're there and how to stop repeating them in the future. I am super excited to dig into this episode, and welcome to the show, Margaret. So I know we said that we could chat a little bit beforehand, but honestly, the way that I think the best conversations happen is just when we're meeting each other in real time anyway.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that makes sense. Because there's excitement behind it. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll just say it was refreshing to see your profile. Let me see what you said. Licensed clinical therapist turned dating coach for women, which I was like, okay, this is cool. But you said helping women break free from love bombing, narcissistic abuse, and anxious attachment, followed by you have like a no nonsense, no BS. You just kind of give it to people straight.
Yeah.
I feel like that means that you are also a no nonsense person. So I'm wanting, if it's okay, like, who are you? What do you do? How did you get here? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I'm trying to make this as succinct as possible. Long story short, I would say that my personality is definitely like, let's kind of get to the point. Let's get to the fun stuff. If something needs to be done, I want to do it and I want to fix it. Whatever, for me, right? Too. I want to be told, tell me what I need to do to fix A, B, and C. I don't want to I don't want to beat around the bush, right? And additionally, I was in a physically and emotionally abusive relationship where it took a very long time to get out of. I had a highly, highly skilled and therapist who was just working with this type of abuse. And she had that approach, which I learned has to be taken when you're in these situations because there is an addiction component.
Yep, absolutely.
Literally.
Which you don't see while you're in it.
You don't see while you're in it. And it's literally chemicals in the brain. And it's the same type of addiction where you're getting the reward and then you're getting the hurt and then you're waiting for the reward, right? That you would get in gambling, that you can get with alcoholism. So there does need to be a very no nonsense approach to help you break out of it because you need to be following the guidelines to break out of any addiction. There's no, oh, I'll just go to the bar on Monday night, just Monday night only. We can't do that. In addition to, I could have died. I mean, for sure. in the women that I work with, this is his life or death. People, most of these men, they definitely have the capability to kill their partners, no question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if you don't realize it at first, I think like, gosh, but he's a decent dad. And so
Mhm.
it's only a matter of time, I think, before you see the escalation happening. And if someone is capable of dehumanizing a person to that level, what else are they capable of?
Yeah. And then they can tune it so they know who they're doing it to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible, really. It's like, wow, this is like,
Yeah. Just
yeah,
taking a
wow.
step back and marvel, you're like, wow,
Oh,
diabolical. This
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So, what was your therapist approach? And also, what was your escape plan? Like, how did you get out of that?
When I was in it, yeah, I mean, she definitely opened my eyes. I had been to other therapists and they had no idea what was going on. They didn't get it, you know? I had one who kind of like laughed at me about something,
No.
laughed in a way of like, oh, it was something where like I was like freaking out about somebody texting him, right? And she like laughed, but she wasn't able to see how this was like me lasering in on the unimportant things. Like, no, let's talk about how like you were hit like the other day. Like, why are we talking about who's texting him? That's not even the, you know? So her approach was very much enlightening me to this is an addiction. This is love addiction. And then you're in the cycle of abuse as well. And no, Margaret, there is not going to be any contact. This is not a relationship.
Mm.
Right. So I needed to hear it. It's crazy. You know what? I had been to like 3 therapists over the course of this 3-year relationship. No one told me this wasn't a relationship. But it's
Well,
funny
I
how
mean,
I
because
heard
to
that.
everyone else it is.
Yeah. But when I heard that, that worked.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't the end of it. That for me, right? I needed more
Yeah.
help. But it was like that was a huge thing to just hear.
I would imagine in that moment, and no one ever said that to me. I'm like, damn, I wish somebody would have said that to me. But
Yeah.
like shaking someone, and it's like,
Yeah.
look at what's actually happening here.
Yeah. What are you fighting for? You're not in your primal cavewoman days. And the strongest women, I believe, get stuck in these situations because you can just fight it through.
Oh, you
Man, can I fight? There's some
did.
stuff.
So you had a really apparently awesome therapist.
Yeah, she is freaking, she saved my life. She saved my life.
Oh, I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
but you're also a licensed therapist.
Yes, I am a
Ah,
licensed therapist. I was a licensed therapist then.
so you're like,
Things
I
you
know.
learn.
Why is this happening to me? Like, no, I'm a therapist, but like I go through shit too. Like,
Yeah.
so were you seeing patients? Are you now? Like, how did you transition into
Yeah.
coaching?
So back then I was eating disorder specific. So it wasn't anything related to relationships at all. Doing eating disorders. The pivot came when, I mean, this relationship and getting out of the relationship was years and years and years ago, right? So there was so much work that I did. So
Right.
much work to get out of it. And then once you're out of it, you're doing more work,
Oh yeah. Then the
right?
real work starts.
Absolutely. And then learning that and knowing I would hear so many women tell me about these dynamics that they were in that I could reflect that were the same. I'm there with you. I'm like, I have to help this subset of women because I'm in your brain. I know exactly what you're going to say to me in session.
Yep.
I can reach you to save you. I mean, I can't save everybody. I don't have like a complex, but if someone can reach you, it's someone who's been through it. And I don't feel that way with that. Heart surgeon doesn't need to have a heart
Right.
attack to be able to do it. It's not that way with every field, but I feel like with this one, if a client's like, oh, I'm thinking about unblocking him, I'll be like, you know what? I probably unblocked about 50 times and blocked and unblocked, right? And a therapist maybe who hasn't been through it, I don't know that they can speak
Well,
to
tell
that.
me what you're feeling in that moment when you want
Yeah,
help.
yeah. It's
Like,
like,
I don't fucking know. Okay. I'm
yeah, you
feeling
don't
so many
know.
things.
You're like, and then 10 seconds later, you'll block again. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, you're in this addiction. I think
Yeah.
that's why there's so much power in like the 12-step program for people that have substance use issues, working with someone who has come from it, right? Like they call it a sponsor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much, I would say there's a lot of parallel in what I do with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. This is a really fascinating conversation to me on many levels because I also was kind of working in the eating disorder energy for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so listening to you, I'm
Yeah.
like, dang, okay. And then you said there were like themes. There were things that you were like, oh, wow, a lot of us experience this. Same for me. A lot of the women that I was working with, I was like, we're all kind of going through the same shit. There's common things here. And so when we started focusing on like the root issues, like as far as the eating disorder, it's a lot of people think, oh, you're just controlling what you eat or how much you eat. And it's like,
Mhm.
no, there are so many layers beneath that.
Yeah.
And when we started to dig into those, it was like, even in childhood, there were patterns. Let's look at those. Like, what's actually
Absolutely.
really going on? And that was when I realized people who have been through this get it. And people who have not been through something like this, they don't get it.
Just
I,
leave. Just leave.
yeah,
Why don't you just leave? And why don't you just eat?
yep. It's very cut and dry on the outside looking in, but
Yeah.
then on the inside looking out, it's like it's almost like you're in this fishbowl and you're looking around at everyone around you. My experience was like, why is everyone so fucking happy? Like, why is everyone joking?
Yeah.
What am I left out of here? Life is hard. What.
Yeah. Yeah.
The patterns are already there, and then we live
Yeah.
them out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Our nervous systems are attuned to a certain level of chaos.
Hmm. Yeah.
No question. No
So
question. I grew up with slamming doors 24/7.
that was my next
You,
question.
yeah, you learn your body comes up here. So then when you see men who are calm and stable, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Like something's off here. I don't know
Right.
what, but I'm just gonna back away slowly.
So
Yeah.
part of the work I do is helping nervous system regulation. It's a huge part, bringing cortisol down. There's so much to that biological component that's going to help you rewire because I believe once you've been in one of these situations, you are always at risk. Whatever allowed you to maintain this, you are always at risk. And I always use the alcohol analogy, and I hope I'm not, offending anyone, but it's like you could be in recovery for 10 years. You really can't really go back to it. You're always at risk. So when we're dating, if we haven't done the biological work to regulate the nervous system, there's a high chance we're going to get back into it because chaos feels familiar and what feels familiar is safe to us.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm wondering from your perspective, people hear nervous system regulation, they hear cortisol levels, and they're like, okay, grounding, deep breathing, being present in the moment. I might meditate, try some yoga. Okay, got it. Let's bridge the gap a little bit between this is your foundation and it also then applies to meeting your own needs, validating what you're going through, being there for yourself. I feel like we can't really do that until we are more grounded and more present. And
Yes.
so, what does that look like with you and your clients? Do you guys work on stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, for an example, if you're not okay, and this might not be everybody, but like sitting at home on a Friday night alone, we have to backtrack, and that takes a while, right? For a lot of people, a lot of my clients are like, it's the third date and he says, let's get on a plane and go to, California. So exciting. No, we got to wait. Likely he's an unsafe guy.
And
But
I'm
we
like,
have to.
yeah, that sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. And hey, I love that. I'm like, this is great, but I'm going to do it with a girlfriend. I'm not going to do it with a guy who I'm on a third date with, right? Or I'm going to do that myself for me. But you have to learn how to regulate. So going back to your question, did you want to know some of the more biological things that I do with my clients, like physiologically to regulate nervous system? Is that why
If,
you're
sure. I mean, if that's what you want to chat about, or if you want to talk more about like the themes and like the bigger picture, I guess
Mhm.
whatever you geek out over more.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, in my opinion, there's a lot of things we do on the day-to-day basis that contributes to high cortisol and dysregulated nervous system. Coffee on an empty stomach, not getting enough sunlight, not grounding. Doing that in conjunction with certain mindfulness type practices, like when you're in your home alone and it's quiet, I want you to look around and listen. And I want you to feel what that feels like. We're going to retrain that this is safe, because for most of the people that I work with, this quiet is not safe.
Yeah.
So that's why the chaos of needing to fix the relationship, needing to get him to apologize, needing to get him to call when he says he's going to call, needing to get him to stop cheating becomes the safety.
Yeah, I have a 12-year-old daughter, side quest here,
Ooh.
and I see the scrolling of the videos.
Oh, yeah.
And I resisted. I'm not a phone parent, and I co-parent. And so there have been times that I'm like, okay, well, this is in her life now. This is something that she's more exposed to. And she's able to speak with me and say, like, Mom, I get so much more bored now. Even
Yeah.
on a car ride, 5 minutes down the road to the
Mhm.
store. What am I going to do? I'm going to be so bored. And I'm like,
Mhm.
honey, look out the window.
Yeah.
Just talk to someone, listen to music. What do
Hmm.
you feel like you want to roll the windows down?
Hmm.
And it's unfathomable. And
Yeah.
I know growing up we didn't have technology like that, but there were things that we could distract ourselves with. And it gets me back to, I want to ask you too about like patterns in childhood, because I guess personally speaking, my childhood, I wanted to distract from that, you know?
Yeah.
So that was comforting. And I'm
Hmm.
wondering, do you get into that kind of stuff with your clients? Do you have an outlook on that as far as what we do bring forward with us?
Yeah. As far as how to be in the moment.
Yeah, or like why we're not, or like what is it that's just so difficult about being present and about like having the silence, or about him not texting back fast enough?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, we're looking for the what scientifically is called the dopamine hit. So when we're scrolling, we're getting those dopamine hits. When you have that piece of cake, you're getting the dopamine hit. But dopamine hits can also come from doing a bike ride, doing your workout, from going to Barnes and Noble and finding that new book. Now, going to Barnes and Noble and finding that new book isn't going to feel initially the same as getting his text, but it is chemically doing the same thing. So you need to build that pathway and build that habit for it to become something that you can really feel.
so repetition.
Yeah. Yeah. What can you implement every single day that's going to give you that hit, that's going to make you feel good? For me, it's what am I going to make for dinner? I love to cook. So, like, I really like to do intricate recipes, painting my nails, picking out like really pretty jewelry to wear for the day, getting my morning walk in, so there's things where we can get that same feeling. We just have to decide that we want to do it in a healthy way and repeat it, repetition, and it will be something that is so fulfilling. Those small things are really fulfilling for me now.
But they weren't before.
No, it used to be, I put the jewelry on and then I had to like have somebody to go somewhere with, and you know what I mean?
Look at me in my jewelry now,
Yeah,
please.
I want to go somewhere fun. I want to see like, but with regulation, it doesn't have to be the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
So let's say, a client is working with you and they're on this process and they're like, okay, I've found my thing. This is what I'm going to do every day. And they're in that like the danger zone, or like they've
Yeah.
the dopamine hits are lessening and they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm bottoming out. Let's say they like message you and they're like, okay, this really doesn't feel like it's working. I'm freaking out. Like I really want to reach back out, or like it's Friday, everybody's going out. I feel like a loser. I wonder what he's doing. What might your advice look like in that moment?
You have to change your environment immediately. You have to put the phone in the closet and step outside. You have to, even if something as simple as like doing like 50 jumping jacks to like exert in some way.
Mhm.
I would say get in the car and go for a drive, leave the phone. You may, depending on where you are in your journey, you may leave the phone, get in your car, drive down the street, turn around, come back and get the phone. To which time you have the phone in your hand, and then maybe you're at the point where you're saying, no, I'm not going to do this. You put the phone down again, you get in the car, and we do it again.
Don't
And that's
drive
okay.
past his house. Go the other direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I love how I asked you that question. Like, this is a moment of crisis. People are freaking out, and you were so calm, and you were just like, you have to do this. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
have to change your environment. That was so
Mm-hmm.
reassuring because I've noticed that, like, when we've looked to someone else for validation, or when we've not really, like, been okay in ourselves, me personally, again, I speak from my experience, I looked to other people
Yeah.
for how to do things. Like, is this the right way to do this? Is this okay?
Yeah.
And so I
Oh, yeah.
imagine hearing you, like, you have to change your environment. There is an answer, you know,
Yeah.
do this. I'm sure there's other things that could work too, but like, that's reassuring.
Sticky notes.
Oh,
Sticky
whoa.
notes saved me
What did you
because
put on
part
them?
of, huh?
What did you put on them?
All the things that I needed to remember that I wasn't okay with. When we're talking about the addictive process, somehow we forget all these things.
Yeah, we do.
I texted her because you made me. Put that on the wall. Bruise on the arm, put that on the wall. Didn't hear from you for 3 days, put that on the wall. And big Sharpie. And I would move them around and I had tons of them because somehow you like bypass it. When your brain wants that dopamine hit, you are not thinking about the bruise on the arm, the texting the six ladies, right, you're not thinking about those things. So having it was in my phone, it was on sticky notes, I put them all around. And this is one of the techniques that, when I'm working with my ladies, I mean, it's literally a savior to have it right in front of you as much as you can.
Yeah, and that, my show, I do focus on narcissistic abuse, which is such a hot button topic these days. Like, it's thrown around and like everybody's a narcissist and everything is narcissistic. Personally, I feel like we all have those traits on a spectrum, and it's
Absolutely.
to show up as that day. But I'm wondering if you have anything to say about this empath narc paradigm or relationship, like the pull, the draw, and the cycles of what we go through, because we do forget. It's like we have, momentary lapse of reason. It's there. And it's like looking back for a long time, I couldn't even remember what I had gone through. And then it came through
Yeah.
like, shit, that was really fucked up.
Yeah. The reason why people keep going back, the reason why we have like a lapse, it's because as humans with a healthy brain, that's not a narcissistic brain because the brain is different. We know this. We are wired to relate to another healthy brain. Well, you did this, you hurt me. Let me let you know you hurt me so you can, with a healthy brain, come back to me and give me what I need. We are
Yeah.
wired to relate to healthy brains. So the reason why it's so hard to get out of it is because it doesn't make sense logically that this person would say, "Well, I texted her because you made me do it."
Yeah.
So you can't look at it logically. We have to look at it like this is a person with a massive deficit. And I think I lost the point of what you asked me.
No, that's perfect because I'm listening to you and I'm like, damn, like even doing what I do and being through what I've been through and like speaking to people that I speak to, every time I meet a person and listen to their perspective, I'm just like, gosh, like this could help so many people.
Yeah.
Because you're putting it in a way that it makes sense. I mean, and then there's that added layer of like, we are dealing with a brain here that doesn't function the same way as ours. But the
Right.
things that they say, we do take that on ourselves a lot of the time. Like,
Mhm.
oh gosh, maybe it was my fault.
Right. Because
Maybe,
that's what a healthy human will do.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we shame ourselves for that. And so what you're saying here is that's normal, that's healthy. That means that you are kind and you are good. And those are all great things about you. And don't let
Yeah.
them take that away.
Yeah. So you were saying the empath, that reminds me of what you were saying. So the empath narcissistic dynamic is that the narcissist is, well, number one is testing to see he knows immediately when he meets you if he's somebody that you're going to work for him.
Yeah.
He's going to say, and this is why it's so important too for the women that I work with. Like I do coaching for women with divorce who are divorcing and getting out, and then women who are just dating.
Mm.
So the women that I'm coaching that are just dating, he's like, "Oh, why don't you drive out here to me? It's only 45 minutes." No, we're not doing that. And there's a reason, because these are tests. He's testing you. So the more boundaries you put up, a narcissist isn't going to put up with the boundaries.
Nope.
It's not going to put up with the boundaries.
Yep. It's too much work.
So that's why it's so important. And, women are like, no, I just want to, no, this is your life, especially if you've been in relationships that are abusive before. You really have to have your boundaries up because they're testing you and they know.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me when I first started dating my ex, I don't even want to say this out loud. So I was at work and I got off work before him and he was like, "Hey, will you go to the furniture place down the road and put $80 on my TV? I got to pay off my TV. It's due today."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Because I'm
See?
thinking he's gonna
Yeah.
pay me back, right?
Yeah, because you're relating to a normal brain.
Right. And we had just been dating like a month or two, maybe. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I can go do that. I get off before you and then we can do dinner.
Yeah.
Never paid me back. And then
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was a test. He's
Yeah.
seeing what he can get away with.
Yep. And then a month later, he's like, "Oh, I got to get this tooth pulled. Do you have $80 I can borrow for that?" And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 7 years later, I got out of that. But listening to you, I'm like, this is so important for people to hear.
Yeah. And that the dynamic with two healthy people, the can I borrow $80? It's just there's going to be different nuances in it. I'm not saying you can never loan your partner $80, but just like the alcoholic really shouldn't be having grape juice in a martini glass. Like, what are you really trying to do, right? Why is it's a martini glass? Like, no. The person who is the empath and susceptible to narcissistic abuse, we can't be going there at all, especially in the beginning. And I mean, a lot of women will get married and there were no signs really about this before, or they don't think there were. So
They weren't in
you
your
got to
face.
have those boundaries up, huh?
They weren't in your face, but
In your face, yeah. And if you're an empath and you think the boundary is too hard, likely it's a light boundary just because you are an empath.
So, what about the people who would hear what you're saying? And I love to do this because
Yeah.
my brain works. What if they're listening to you and they're like, okay, trauma response. Like now you're just walking around looking at everybody like they're going to hurt you just because you were in a bad relationship. That's unhealthy.
So I would say, and remember, I work with like heterosexual couples, so women dating men. I would say biologically, we know men are wired to be provider, protector, hunter, and they're wired to have as many babies as they can. And women, literally chemically, when they have sex with a man, are bonded to that man because she needs a man to protect her and the baby. It's biological. For that reason, this is why women need to be a little tough with the boundaries, because otherwise you have no way of knowing if that man is really invested in you.
Wow.
Because a man is going to give attention. He'll text good morning to 10 women at the same time. And I'm not saying that that's like a bad thing or a good thing, but you need to learn how to protect yourself.
Especially these days when
Right.
people's attention is.
Right. Women, and obviously there's always exceptions. I hate that I even have to say that because there's always exceptions. Women are less likely to be the ones who are texting 10 men. No, a woman is going to hang on to that one guy because of the way she's wired. So for that reason, it's not a trauma response to say, no, make him put the effort in to pursue you because you're already hooked on him. He's probably hooked on 3 women, not even hooked, just sitting on, biding his time until he finds what he really wants.
You said a minute ago, you said that when he meets you, he's already got an idea. He feels it when he meets you. This is someone who I can work with here. This is someone, this is someone who I can manipulate, or this is someone who seems weak, or someone I can test their boundaries and I think I can go farther. Do you have a theory on this?
Yeah, I'm going to get exactly what I want. I'm going to be lazy if I want to be lazy. She's going to do whatever I want. I'm not going to have to do anything. I'm not going to have to do anything I don't want to do. She's going to put up with me ghosting for 3 days, or, she's going to put up with, I get mad a lot and I like to yell and scream and throw things. She's not going to leave.
So she's going to make it all about me. And then I can just live a life that's all about me. What's something that women can do? Because I will have women listening to this who, dating is a thing that we do. And we want to be loved by people. We want to be accepted. And we're,
of course.
world. Just going out and dating how can we, boundaries once we get to know someone? Yes, I hear you. If we don't know what we're walking into, how can we guard ourselves as soon as, let's say we're going to go out with our friends, go to the bar, have a drink. Do we just look like someone who's going to be easy to be preyed on? Do we carry ourselves differently?
I mean, yes and no. So some people, it might be a lot of like self-soothing. So touching the hair, fixing the shirt, fixing the necklace, looking around. For me, I mean, I'll be honest, I was at the bar and I saw him. He was like kind of shorter. This is funny because this is like the opposite, right? And he was like stuck behind guys who were pushing in front of him. And I was like, oh, you can stand here.
Oh,
Not to go on a tangent, but narcissists actually have no sense of self and very low sense of self-esteem.
yeah. Yeah.
So he, unless he was probably drunk, would be less likely to approach someone because of such low self-esteem, the fear of rejection. But I was the one who opened it. So then I was the safe person to, yeah. So that is kind of funny, just to answer your question. Who's being approached? Well, I kind of walked into that one. Not funny. It's actually not funny. That was a fateful day. But I would say that, and just don't be overly agreeable. I mean, no one naturally is overly agreeable. The empath likely is overly agreeable because of patterns in childhood where we had to perform in a certain way to be loved and accepted. So when that stranger comes up to you and buys you a drink, hey, don't be like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for buying that drink. Let me buy you one. Let me give it half. Here's my number. Here's my Instagram. Stop it. Stop it.
I am unworthy.
Yeah. Stop it. Stop it. I know women who men are like buying them cars. Okay. They've been on like 3 dates. Like, what are we doing? But it's all about your mindset and what you're willing to accept. And I'm not saying those men aren't narcissists who are buying the cars, but the point is men are going to do exactly what they want to do. And 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, they have an ulterior motive. He's not coming up to you because he wants you in your book club.
Which makes me think too, like 9.5 times out of 10, it really has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
You could have been anyone.
Exactly.
And
Accept the drink, be a little astute about it, I'm worthy, I'm me. And I love to tell women, envision like a little bit of like light around you that can kind of mentally create that separation where you're not fusing with this person. Don't give them your Instagram. Do not give them your Instagram. That's inviting somebody into the innermost parts of all of your life. I don't even know what to say about giving the number. If you want to give the number, give the number, but I definitely wouldn't give the Instagram.
yeah. Yeah, because you also have these guys who they will pursue harder and they will look you up and there is a chase. And now it's something like to be overcome. And now you're not even a person, you're just something that they can win.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And
So,
remember, they're pretending for 3 months. Usually 3 months is what they can hold on to. So 3 months is going to be, it's funny because I was watching this influencer online. I follow her dating and I can literally see it. She's on date number 3. And before date number 3, she's like, I am so anxious. I'm so anxious for this date. Number 1, that's how you know. And she's done with date number 3. I can't believe it. He's the one. He invited me to his birthday with his family. We're going to go on this trip. And I'm like, and for me, that would have been me in the past, right? Before I've learned and rewired. But the anxiety is, and I don't mean to go on a tangent. The anxiety is not, that is not you're excited about this date. That is your gut telling you that you're on edge.
red flag then.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's a really actionable tip. And you were talking before in the bar and I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm taking it in like it's the first time I'm hearing it. I'm back in that moment of me then and I'm like, so these are masters of body language.
Yeah.
And we're anxious and we're not
Yeah.
masters of our own body language. In
Yeah.
that moment, we're like, oh my gosh, like, let me, misinterpret the hell out of this, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So with the lack of self-awareness and interpreting other people's body language and just like, it's like the constant input of information. I really like then how you said to imagine that light around you and not to blend.
Yeah.
Because it feels icky. Like you are blending, you are
Mhm.
consenting to that.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, so what is the hardest part about what you do?
When ladies fall off, like I'll lose contact with them because I know they've gone back.
Yeah.
And what I want anybody that may work with me or works with me to know is if you've gone back, we can still meet. I still want to meet with you. We can work from that place. It's okay. I mean, I've been there.
Yeah,
I laugh because you're not alone in that. You know how many times I went back?
me too.
Yeah. So, but if you have a little bit of light within you that knows that you deserve better, you don't need to disappear and fall off. We can still meet from wherever you are, even if you go back. It's okay. So that's hard because it becomes they're re-isolating themselves, right? Because a lot of times their family members don't even know they went back. No one really does usually.
Yeah, there's this shame. It's like
Yeah. It's a
And
shame and then people don't want to deal with it anymore.
yeah. And then it becomes like the boy who cried wolf, like how many times are you gonna, you're just gonna keep going back.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the sense that even if they did continue to work with you, it wouldn't have to be like, you must leave. There's other
No,
things that can be done, even while in the relationship. So what
absolutely.
advice might you give someone who is not in the place to leave yet and is like, you know what, I hear you, I hear what you're saying. What
Yeah.
might you say in that moment to someone of like, there are things that you can still do for yourself, even if you're not ready to leave?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I love working with women that are still in the thick of it too, because at least you have kind of an outlet for someone to help you feel seen and heard. But if you're in it and you're not ready to leave, I would say the first thing you can do is, and I always want everybody to be safe. So, like, I don't know if he has access to your phone. You have to figure out what it is to be safe. But I would say make a list or make those sticky notes for yourself of the bad things that have happened. And I want you to revisit those a few times a day.
Yeah.
So let's at least start there, even if this doesn't mean leaving. We need to physically document these things so you can remember them. And then I would say the other thing is one of the books that saved me was it's called How to Break Your Addiction to a Person. It's like a lime green or kind of yellow cover. Get that book.
Yeah, I'll link that in the
Yeah,
show.
like get that book. Period. Like this whole podcast, that book is amazing.
I'm gonna name this
Um,
podcast Get This Book.
yeah, yeah. How to yeah, it's wonderful. Oh my God, that book is so wonderful. And it's gonna be soothing. It's like when they came out with that book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. It's funny. This was probably back before I had done any healing. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Why is that a dumb name? But I literally feel like that book, How to Break Your Addiction to a Person, is like a soothing thing. Even if you're deep in this relationship that's horrible, it's just gonna feel so good to read it. You're gonna be like, yes, 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 yes. This is why. Like, it's amazing. So yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the hardest part.
Yeah.
What is now, obviously, of course, I would guess your most fulfilling and favorite part is when the light bulb comes on and you're
Yeah.
like, yes, you get it. Like self-worth is
Yeah.
great. But I would like to hear just in your own words. Let me word it this way. You work with women,
Yeah.
you work with people who have been hurt. This is complex. Okay. How would you define success?
So, I mean, there's a few different ways. I would say success for sure is being able to come to me and say, like, Margaret, like, I can be in my house alone and have it be completely quiet. I feel so grateful and so good. And I don't have any plans, and it's okay. And the gratefulness that comes, and I recognize it because I felt it. And then my clients will tell me that comes from being able to get out of that mind prison of not being able to leave and then having peace on the other side. You're so grateful for that peace. That is like the best thing ever. And it's magical, the contrast to recognize.
Yeah, like oxygen after drowning.
Yes. And it's like, it's so simple, but it's so fulfilling. Whoa.
This is
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
You just exist.
Exactly. I was just gonna say the most basic thing. The
Yep.
most basic thing. Imagine. Well, coming from before I was even born. Not to make this about me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was in the womb. There wasn't a second of peace up until I left at 17. That's
Yep.
a lot of unwiring to do. And a lot of the most of the women I work with, that's the way it was too.
Yeah, me too. And I left at 17 and I was in this big old world and I'm just like
Yeah.
terrifying. I couldn't
Yeah.
hold a job. I could not function.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it reminds me of this quote. I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like, and now that you don't have to be perfect, now you can just be.
Yes. I don't have to perform to be
Yeah.
loved.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything that you wanted to share specifically on the show today that I might not think of?
I feel like we covered, I mean, geez, we covered so much. There's so much more, to dive into, which we wouldn't be able to do on this podcast. But just, I would say another thing maybe that people could look into is like attachment styles and how your attachment style is impacting your relationships. That could be something that they can do kind of on their own if they
Yeah.
wanted to dive more. And then that book.
That's another hot button topic too. How would you just like summarize that to someone?
So likely you're an anxious attachment. That's why you always feel like you're the one who has to pick up the pieces with this emotionally abusive / toxic relationship because I have to perform in order to be loved. And if I can just get this bad person who's treating me bad to love me, it means that I'm valuable. So I would look into specifically how is anxious attachment impacting my connection to toxic people, even friends. I mean, this is friends too. It's not just men.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very concrete and actionable. And looking back from where I was in that moment, there's so much out there. And
Yeah.
it's easy to follow 50 accounts on Instagram. And then
Mhm.
I was on Pinterest at the time,
Yeah.
this was getting big. And it's like all these affirmations that I have still saved in my phone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I
like,
know I can look back years at photos or quotes and feel why I saved that. And I was like, oh, I kind of want to delete those because those aren't me anymore, like some of them that I needed at that time. Yeah.
and I just, in that moment, it was like there was no clarity. So none of it did it.
Yeah.
So I feel like what you're doing is a breath of fresh air, much, much, much needed.
Thank you. Yeah. It's soulful work for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deeply impactful on both levels. I say that I learn just as much from my clients as they say they learn from me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
even girl, like this has been mutual.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else that you want to add about yourself or your work? Do you want to shout out? Are you writing a book? Do you have a website?
Yeah. So, I do like free 10-15 minute consults. So if you're kind of unsure, kind of just dipping your toe into something, definitely you can submit an inquiry on my website and we can chat for free. I work with women who are finding the same types of toxic relationships over and over. If you're in a toxic relationship, I work with you too. And I do have a specialized coaching program for women who are getting divorced from a narcissist / toxic relationship or are already divorced. So that's kind of like a subset. And then, I mean, I can say the website. Will you put it in the notes or?
You can
Yeah.
say it and I'll link it for
Yeah,
people.
yeah. So it's mscounselingonline.com. And then the coaching program for divorcees and women who are in the process of getting divorced is healingtostrength.com.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are going to wrap it up, but I feel like I could have you on again one day. No, like a
Yeah, there's so much. There's so much. We could talk about anything.
uh,
It's been awesome chatting with you.
I've had fun too. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And text me for anything, or if you want to chat, just chat, whatever. You're awesome.
Say bye. Thanks for spending time in the Reclamation Room. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if this supported you, consider sharing it or leaving a review. You're not alone, and your reclamation is sacred.